Music first entered my life when I was about 14, 15. For me, music was something I never envisioned myself being a part of. When people ask me how I got to where I got to and why my story is important, my story is a story of a village. The situations that broke me as a child should have broken me as an adult. Most of the reasons why I was a menace to society, as some would call it, when I was a child, was because I didn't like myself. I didn't like who I was. I didn't think I was worth kindness. I didn't think I was worth compassion. I didn't think I was worth anybody's time. Strangers helped me survive until the moment that I could realize, so my brain and my heart and my soul were healed enough that I could realize that I was worth it, that I could be something, I could be somebody. Every educator, every teacher, every conductor, every musician who has been in part of my career, my time spent with them, even if it was struggling, I think they knew that I respected their time, I respected who they were, and I gave it my all. The people that will give me the opportunity to tell them my story, I want them to know how important their time is, and their compassion, and their voice.
Ryan Speedo Green's story and the stories that we hear from our fellowship partners are not that different. The Holland Community Opera Fellowship came into being, and it was the idea of inspiring members of the community that may not find themselves easily at home at the Orpheum in a way that's authentic.
Some of the girls from Girls Inc. said they've never even heard of opera before this. They didn't even know that this genre existed. They didn't even know that there were people that looked like them, if they were little black girls that looked like them, that were in opera. That was just not heard of before. So now their world is opened up, their mind is opened up, they're using art as an expression versus expressing themselves in more negative ways that get them in trouble.
At 13 years old, life situations happened. I had just gotten out of juvenile detention, and I was looking for ways to keep myself off the streets and also keep myself from going home. I thought the safest place and the best place for me to be was school. I chose my elective as choir, and one of the first things that we had to do was learn a piece, and I saw that there was like a 24 Italian Arts on book, and they came with a CD that could teach you the music, and I chose the shortest piece, Caro mio ben. Heard the person singing opera, and tried to like imitate him as a joke, because I wanted to be funny. So I came from the class and I had my pretend opera voice and I sang Caro mio ben. And she came to me afterwards and asked me who my voice teacher was. And I was like, I don't have one. and so she was like, yeah, maybe you want to work with me.
Ryan Speedo Green has achieved international success and acclaim, but we see these smaller successes that are equally meaningful every day with our fellowship partners.
I want people to feel excited, I want people to have fun, but ultimately I want people to feel safe and welcome. Welcome is the word I would use.
Opera fellows became it's like the following of the Grateful Dead. They'd walk through the door and Ollie-Web individuals would go, yes, they're here, the opera's here.
The approach is unique because they really want to build relationships first before providing program. In a lot of places, they just want to just provide program, but then what's next, right? So then how are you really connecting with the community? How are you building that relationship? How are you building those meaningful connections? And I think that's what makes it really unique, is that long-term relationship with their partners.
For many people, all you need is that one person to believe in you or to tell you that you're worthy of success and that you're worthy of happiness.
There was a magnet school for the arts called Government School for the Arts in Norfolk, Virginia. They take a field trip every other year, the Government School does, during my time when I was there, where they would go to New York City to see an opera and Broadway shows. I already knew I wasn't going to be able to go because you had to pay money for it, and I was a single-parent household. But then there was an anonymous donor who decided to donate for me to go. When that was told to me, I was like, yeah, I get to go to New York and see Times Square. And I wasn't even thinking about opera or Broadway. I was like, I cannot believe a kid from southeastern Virginia is gonna go to New York, and I'm only 15 years old. And so I went up there, saw 2 Broadway shows. Then we took a trip to the Met, the Metropolitan Opera. I got there and I saw it from the outside. I knew that I was in a place that was special. It looks something almost like a gladiatorial Smithsonian, with a big fountain in the middle, everything marble and stone. The opera I was seeing was called Carmen. I didn't even look at the program. I was just so mesmerized. And then the music started. The overture was the first breaking of the glass, like someone hitting a hammer on my interpretation of classical music. And as the opening number happened, I see Carmen. And then another hammer hit my preconception glass, where this person, African-American woman by the name of Denise Graves, one of the most famous mezzo-sopranos of her time, came out and started singing. And it was and immediately I looked at my program to be like, is this real? And I saw that the title character was a person of color. When I left the Met that day, that was my first experience with live opera in that way. I had never been that close to something, to that kind of performer, that kind of art, that kind of experience, and it shook me to my core.
What we do with the Holland Community Opera Fellowship is totally unique in the country. And this is a way to serve the community fully and bring what I call opera with a lowercase o to different groups of people with the intended outcome that it's a gift to make their lives better.
We have a lot of youth with some rough exteriors. A lot of the staff and a lot of the youth at first, when I brought this to them, and including myself, were a little bit hesitant of how is this going to work? I guess you can say that it's an unusual partnership, but one that after we've worked with Opera Omaha for so long, it just makes perfect sense. Just overall to be able to see their thoughts and minds change of what Opera Omaha brings to the community was just, in my opinion, it was just phenomenal.
They're in so many different places: juvenile justice, working with seniors, Intercultural Senior Center, and the Michael House is another one of those that they work at. They had asked those participating, how was it today? Oh, I hope I don't start to cry. When one of the people had written down, I felt like a person today. I felt like people saw me as a person today. And I thought, oh, I'm not sure it gets any better than that. It's just remarkable, the impact that this program has.
After experiencing live opera for the first time, I knew I had a dream. I literally had a dream of my future. I saw myself somewhere doing something. I told him, Mr. Brown, I know what I want to do with my life. And he's like, what do you mean? What do you want to do? And I was like, I want to sing at the Metropolitan Opera. And instead of telling me aim a little lower, he told me what the bare minimum would be for me to even have an audition to be a part of the prestigious Met Chorus. The kind of career I would have to have beforehand to be able to step on that stage and be amongst those artists. But what he didn't tell me, it was impossible. And I told myself, okay, I'm gonna do these things. And yeah, 9 years later, I sing at the Met.
The arts, they belong to everyone. It's historical, it's ancestral, it's in our DNA to tell stories and listen to stories as our basic way of connecting to people.
They do all forms of art when they're working with Opera Omaha Fellows, and so they may have not been exposed to that before. Where are they getting those outlets? Where are they getting a chance to express themselves? Where are they getting a chance to really tap into who they are, to really learn what motivates them? What passions do I have? And then how can I use those passions to bring them forward through my art?
Opera helped me become the man that I am today. You could be that person for someone like me. And it's usually the kids who are the worst of the worst, who get locked up and have the key thrown away, that have that potential. And I think that's the beauty of my story and what I hope everyone gets from it.